Hi, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Petaha, or Laura, and I filmed a video on co-washing and coconut oil pre-wash treatments, and I realized it's sort of a start of a series, so I should just go ahead and do a series on basic hair care. So this one is on different ways to wash your hair. First one is to talk about shampoo. Now when you shampoo, for the most part, you want to just, you don't need to shampoo your whole head, you want to just shampoo your roots. And you basically know how to shampoo, so I'm not going to get say much on what to do there. You can choose sulfates and non-sulfate shampoos. Sulfates are the strongest. I would not recommend them for most wavy. Some people with wavy hair find that they do better with sulfates and silicones, but most people find that they do better on the curly girl method. So I would not use sulfates. I would not recommend sulfates generally. However, there are some people with wavy hair, that like it with fine hair, that their hair gets weighed down easily, and they find that they occasionally need to use something stronger to wash their hair with. So for those people, like, maybe use a sulfate shampoo like once a month or so, or like, however often you think you need it, but you might need a sulfate shampoo more often. Also, some people find that the non-sulfate shampoos are all harsher on their hair than the sulfate shampoo, which is not true for most people, but it is true for some people. So for those people, probably what you want to do is go ahead and dilute your shampoo. Now you can either dilute it, put a little bit, you can dilute it, I believe Sciencey Hair Blog has a post on this and I'll link it in the description box, but I believe you can do it up to 1 part shampoo to 10 parts, and you can just mix it in a cup. And I think she mixes hers in a cup and just kind of pours it over her head. I like to mix mine when I do it. I like to thicken the water with xanthan gum first. I believe you have to boil it. I haven't done it in a while. I believe you have to boil the xanthan gum to get it to thicken. You can find xanthan gum at the gluten-free sections of like a grocery store or a health food store. Anyway, do that, and then I add the shampoo to that. I will dilute my low poo to about half strength sometimes. And I just do that in a bottle. I mix about a week's worth, because if you dilute your shampoo, you're also diluting the preservatives. So I mix about a week's worth and I keep it in the fridge. With non-sulfate shampoos, the one that I use is Ren Pure Organics. My pretty hair is parched. Now I always forget the name of that. But the one ingredient that some non-sulfate shampoos have is, I'm going to try to pronounce this here, olefin sulfate. It's C1416 olefin sulfate. And some people find that ingredient to be very harsh. Some people find that harsher than regular sulfate shampoos. I haven't ever used it on a regular basis, but when I have used shampoos with that in there, non-sulfate shampoos with that in there, I don't find it to be a problem. The next thing I'm going to show the co-washing, and co-washing adds moisture to your hair. That's the most moisturizing way to cleanse your hair. Oh, I'm going to say there's also cleansing conditioners with like they're like conditioners that people have added cleansing agents to. Like one is the Curl Junkie, I can't think of it. The Curl Junkie has one, but there's like lots of different cleansing conditioners. Some of them are just like, they call them cleansing conditioners, but really they're just co-washes, but some actually have cleansing agents added, so that's going to be a little bit more cleansing. It's going to be in between a low poo and a co-wash. And also in between a low poo and a co-wash is a water wash, which, believe it or not, actually does get your hair clean if you are not using things that will not wash out of your hair. If you're not using like combs and whatever, it'll be good enough to clean your hair. You just do like a co-wash, and but instead you just use water. You don't use any product. You just, the friction will actually clean your scalp. Now, I wouldn't use this as your only method of cleansing your hair, because you're going to need something else. You're going to have to throw in some of the other methods with it. but it's a good thing to throw in the mix sometimes, especially in higher dew points. Sometimes you might not want to shampoo, but you still want to cleanse it, but you don't really want to add moisture. Let's see. Some people find that their scalp doesn't slough off as quickly as it should, so they get sort of like, like built up scalp, and they find that using a scrub sort of helps. You can use like a brown sugar scrub, some people use. Some people do the baking soda scrub to remove stuff, but there are a couple problems with just scrubs and baking soda scrubs. I wouldn't use a scrub. If you need to use a scrub, you should use one. But I wouldn't use it just, because it abrades because if it can exfoliate your skin, it'll abrade your hair cuticles, and it's going to abrade them right at the roots, and then they're damaged, and they're damaged for the whole, as they grow out, for the whole time they're on your head. If you damage your hair, it's damaged. You can temporarily fix it with proteins, but it's like if you scratch a door, it's not going to magically heal itself. It's just scratched. So, anyway, so that's true with both the baking soda and the brown sugar scrubs. But the baking soda also has a high pH, which opens up your hair, all your hair cuticles. And the theory is that you're going to put the vinegar over there, and it's going to close all your hair cuticles. But on the blog, The Natural Haven, she says that when you're opening the cuticles, it's not like you're opening and closing doors. You're breaking and reforming bonds, chemical bonds, and that's just not. It's not going to happen consistently every single time. It's like telling your 5-year-old when they go out to shut the door. Well, mostly they're gonna, but they're not going to do it every time. And then if your cuticles are open, again, it's open for the whole length of your hair growing out. So you would really want to consider what you're doing to your hair at the roots, because it's the very beginning of its life, and you don't really want to hurt it there. But, well, I think that's about all I have. Like I said, some people like both the baking soda and the brown sugar, so I'm not going to argue with what works, but that's just my personal opinions on that stuff. Anyway, that's what I have. I was experimenting with my hair a lot today, and I don't know, it's still wet, so we'll see what happens, but I don't know how that's going to turn out. But anyway, thanks for watching Waves to the Wavies.